Alright guys, so I've been asked a lot to cover this channel, but every time I've tried, I've been hit with this realization that their content lacks any substance whatsoever, on a level that's so beyond even your average right-wing grift channel that it becomes impossible to respond to, impossible to debunk, because there's not really an argument so much as there is just a lot of vaguely talking about the message and just cheering for the failure of certain products and talking about how this is what you get when you go woke or whatever. It's very hollow and empty content and very low effort, might I add. And hey, that's a lot coming from me, okay? But you have to remember, the bar on YouTube is so low for right-wing content that videos that are just these, I assume, couple like complaining about how media is woke now, or a certain thing being discussed in the culture war is woke and bad somehow, they have amassed, which you cannot see because I have it set to game capture, they have amassed a walloping nearly 600,000 subscribers. They are a very successful channel, so it makes sense why so many people have asked me to cover them. Now, somebody else, believe it or not, actually did, it turns out. They did a bit of a response to, I guess, some of the most cringe points that ClownFishTV has made, and this is a smaller YouTuber who did it, named Sia Mystery, and they only have around 1.5 thousand subs. A good amount, but compared to 600,000 nearly, we're talking about a David and Goliath kind of situation here, okay? Now, I actually do have a question for you. Comment down below if you want to. It actually helps the engagement a lot if you do. Which franchise that is perhaps a favorite of yours has ClownFishTV gone after and attacked? This seems to be going after Transformers, and I know a good few of you in here like Transformers. Horizon Zero Dawn attacking this random drama, this random streamer who's trans from a drama that happened like 4 years ago. No one's a fan of this game. California, I guess? Your own state? Like, trying to grift off the Mr. Beast stuff, I suppose? I don't know. Tell me what's the most annoying thing you've ever seen, like, recommended from ClownFishTV, in your side panel, okay? Just, let me know, chat. Comment down below. I love to find out. That said, we've got this video here from Sia Mystery called ClownFishTV Hates Me? Question mark, question mark, question mark, where apparently, well, it seems that ClownFishTV has launched a little bit of a brigading campaign against this YouTuber. And while the comments are generally pretty positive, when I scroll down, there are a lot more people that are going on with the whole, like, anti-woke screed, so it kind of makes sense. This is sadly a situation where, more often than not, progressive content creators or left-leaning content creators call out, I mean, throw a dart at the wall and you'll hit, like, a random alt-right YouTuber, right? And you take that random alt-right YouTuber, you decide, okay, I'm gonna cover this person. They just so happen to have 500 times your following, and covering them may result in you incurring weeks and weeks and weeks of harassment. Now, I hope this has not been the case for this YouTuber here, but I've had it happen to me, and it is not fun. It really, really isn't. So let's go ahead and check this out. I expect the video to be pretty solid. It seems like it's pretty high production value. Let's check it out. Let's see what the deal is. It's a bit long, though, so we're probably not going to watch all of it. Also, there will be a link down below in the description to the original video, assuming my editor remembers. If they forget, comment down below reminding them to remind Ethan in the comments to add the link, and he will. But yeah, let's go. Let's start this. Let's see what this is all about. I cannot stand ClownFishTV. They're, like, so lacking in their ability to make an argument, it upsets me. It makes it impossible for me to watch them.
Entitled little whiny bitches. I'm not gonna cry too much if you lose your jobs because you're being a bunch of assholes. I'm an animator and I do mental health videos. Well, you're gonna need more mental health videos because your animation career is probably not gonna last much longer.
Oh my god, you can, like...
Yeah, she's an animation YouTuber, by the way, and the ClownFish TV people were, like, attacking not even, like, a progressive, like, left-leaning YouTuber, just an animation YouTuber, a smaller animation YouTuber. Jesus Christ. I don't even know if there was, like, a call-out video. It very well might have just been spurred on by a tweet or hell, just a comment in passing in a video. They would get mad enough at that, trust me.
See my vein because I'm getting so stressed out. So I was not planning on sitting down and recording this video today, but it's been brought to my attention that ClownFish allegedly made a response video to my response video. I say allegedly because...
Okay, there was a video.
You know, they never mentioned me by name. They do not have like any screenshots or anything of my channel, but they are oddly specific in their criticism.
Oh, okay, so this is actually a win-lose kind of situation, right? So when a right-wing channel attacks a left-wing channel that's smaller, you got to remember that conservatives think first and foremost when they're operating in a political sphere, a lot like Hassan Piker, ironically, with clout in mind, first and foremost. They need to farm clout, and they don't want to give anyone they don't like free clout, free momentum to build their following, right? And so it seems like ClownFishTV opted for that path where they did not provide, like, they kind of vague tweeted about this YouTuber. Like, they kind of vague posted, like, insults and anger, clearly, based on the audio clip we started with here, but didn't exactly allow any path for, and this is the win part of the win-lose situation, didn't allow any path for their audience to harass this YouTuber unless they knew who they were referring to. Like, they hunted down the person who made a response to ClownFishTV and then attacked them. So it's sort of a win-lose. On one end, you don't really get to gain the notoriety that ClownFishTV calling you out as a smaller YouTuber after your response would give you, but you also don't have to worry as much about the waves of harassment from their 600,000 subscribers. So it's sort of up to you to decide whether or not that was an ideal way for it to go down.
So I don't know how this happened because in my video, I very explicitly said that, you know, I'm not trying to like cause any drama or like start anything. My goal was to just focus on the arguments that they made in their video and, you know, just to provide some like information and context. The timing is a little odd because I uploaded my video on Friday and today's Monday. I think they uploaded this video like Sunday night or something. So unless someone else has made a ClownFishTV reaction video over the weekend, I'm assuming that it could possibly be about me.
It probably is. Something that I've considered about, like, the production timeline of conservative content is more often than not what they probably do is, like, once every 3 or 4 days, they sit down and they probably record, like, 12 videos back to back to back and, like, pass it off to an editor, and then it gets uploaded, like, kind of spread out, and then they just kind of chill out the whole rest of their time. Maybe they do live streams, but that's probably all they're doing. If you watch this conservative, like, all they do is like, oh, is there like a thing trending on Twitter? Let me call it woke for 20 minutes and then upload that. Like, it's not that hard. And especially the content that ClownFishTV makes where it's two people talking to each other, there isn't a need for a single person to sit there and make a compelling argument or even be an entertaining personality to the audience. It's just a conversation, like a podcast. So it's especially low effort in the sense that neither party's involved in making the ClownFishTV videos are particularly talented orators, speakers, or persuasive speakers, I should probably say. They're just talking to each other. They upload like 20-minute clips of them talking about how a thing is woke.
Figured, why not take a look at what they have to say? Again, this is all alleged.
It was probably up, like, recorded days before, is my point.
About me. I don't know for sure. It could be about like a different group of people. It could be about people in my comment section. I don't know. So yeah, let's get into it. By the way, my name is Sia, and I'm a storyboard artist working in animation. If you'd like to support me, or if you want to learn storyboarding, I run a Discord where I do monthly streams and provide personalized mentorship. Link in the description below. Quick update, I'm launching a 5-day, all-inclusive, in-person artist retreat in Lake Arrowhead, California, with art classes for all skill levels and personal mentoring to help you reach your art goals. In addition to that, I also have a new 6-week virtual coaching program coming up, specifically for artists with ADHD, and we'll be focusing on the unique challenges that come with being an artist with a neurodivergent condition. If you're interested in either of those programs, there's going to be 2 different Google.
Well, I don't know jack shit about art. I'm gonna be real. I used to doodle occasionally when I was a little lad, but I'm not good at art. I am far from a good source of info on art advice or art training or art teaching. Not my cup of tea.
Link in the description box down below. So just fill them out, and I'll get back to you with more details.
I'm a consumer.
Back to the video.
But today we're going to talk about animation, because it's come to our attention that there are these animators and these people working in the animation industry having major meltdowns. They're so salty about stuff we said. Meanwhile, there are people that are industry.
I don't know about you guys, but I was not salty or upset at all in my video. I am pretty sure
Well, this is a very common conservative tactic. Any disagreement, any dissonance against their opinions is being triggered, salty, big mad. Hell, it might even be if they're really trying to fearmonger about a certain group, it might even be violence against them for you to disagree. It might even be some kind of treason that they'll advocate for violent, military response. Right now, Donald Trump, probably the presidential candidate these two, the ClownFishTV people will vote for, is calling non-supporters of his, I can't speak today, the enemy within. And he is promising to call the National Guard and military on them if he wins the election. So the right cannot engage with the idea of people disagreeing. And they can't acknowledge that normal people do not have the same opinion as them. And so when they are faced with the fact that many artists in a lot of these industries, particularly in animation, are left-leaning, they not only have to frame it as being salty or angry or whatever, but they also have to frame it as though these artists are bad people who should not be respected for what they produce, who in fact deserve harassment for being involved in producing something that they have a cultural or political opposition to for no reason. It's all about enforcing the standard that people who are left-leaning, even if they're just an animator, if their job is to animate for a show or something, that they warrant harassment and attack. Because the conservatives have always projected when they said that's what the left does, of course. They want it to always be acceptable to attack someone for being left-leaning, but if anyone gets criticism for being racist or far-right, then all of a sudden where's their free speech? They're screaming from the rooftops, free speech, free speech. You're not allowed to criticize them. Free speech for me, but not for thee.
stayed as calm and collected as possible.
Meanwhile, there are people that are industry veterans who have come out and said, no, we're right. And of course, they all dogpiled those people immediately.
Ooh. And there's always these imaginary, in tangential, never named industry veterans, the ones responsible for making all the old stuff you grew up on that you actually like from your childhood. Meanwhile, if they ever were to refer to someone who's a supposed industry veteran, it's probably like Grums, someone who's a lolicon, a grifter who has been scamming people with a fake, non-existent Kickstarter funded game that he's been working on for 9 years with nothing to show for it. Meanwhile, he, on top of all of that, whenever he makes his engagement bait posts on Twitter, they're usually just rumors based off of a 4chan post, an anonymous 4chan post. He'll be like, yeah, this guy claims to be an insider at Ubisoft, talking about how they modeled Yasuke in the game to look like George Floyd to monetize off the BLM riots. That is a real tweet from Grums, by the way. I'm not fucking joking. That is a real tweet from Grums. According to a 4chan leaker, insider at Ubisoft, they modeled Yasuke to look like George Floyd to make money off of the popularity of the BLM protests. And on top of that, they claim, mind you, with no evidence other than an anonymous 4chan post, that the original character, male samurai protagonist of the game, was going to be a Japanese man, and they switched that at the last minute when in 2020, the quote-unquote BLM riots became so profitable. I don't... It's genuinely just insane conspiracy mongering. And the only people who this appeals to are sadly the majority. The majority of people online right now who hear something like that and they just think, sounds about right to me. And they commit it to their memory as something that absolutely, definitely happened, and it reinforces their dogshit, unsubstantiated worldview. And that's basically what content like ClownFishTV is for. People like that.
Dare you? How dare you? Don't encourage them. But if we're right, we're right. And I'm sorry. There's a difference between grifting and being negative and lying.
Did I accuse them of grifting? I don't think I did.
I will. They are grifting. I don't care if they actually are conservative. The amount that they complain as two presumably adults that are, I assume, married or something, or maybe they're brother and sister. Maybe they're both. I think I made that joke before once, a year ago. They're grifting, okay? They don't care about the shit they're complaining about. you can tell they're phoning it in. They've got no passion. They have no emotion in their voice when they talk about it. They're married and have kids? Okay, I assumed correctly. So, like, yeah, this is just slop meant to be shoveled into the mouths of conservatives that need their opinions constantly validated, because in the real world, conservative thought is, even among moderate Republicans, not all that popular. In fact, that's why the Democrats are always telling people to vote, not to vote Democrat, while the Republicans are always specifying vote Trump, vote for their candidate, because the more people, period, that vote, the more votes the Dems get, because the majority of people would vote Dem if they voted at all. That's where their politics align, if they're willing to actually mobilize themselves. And so people on the right who are terminally online need a constant source of validation for all of the nonsense conspiracy theories they believe, so they constantly inhale a drivel line of content like ClownFishTV's. It's why it's so successful. It's why there is such an easy grift. It's so easy to break into. It's so easy to reach like sub 1 million subscribers as a low-effort conservative content creator. It's just right there. It is like the evil pull of the dark side for any content creator, left or right. There are people who are genuinely conservative who grift off right-wing content.
I did.
And you should see the stuff that's been leveled at us over these comments. I'm not going to point out the videos or anything because, one, I don't want to give them oxygen. Two, they're so off base, it's ridiculous, and I don't want people going after them.
Oh, there it is. I don't want to give them oxygen. That's the whole no free clout thing. Don't want to give smaller channels any clout, because to conservative content creators, everything is about clout. Everything is about like making sure you don't bleed any or give any for free to someone you don't like or someone you don't approve of, and trying to constantly acquire as much as you can. No free I literally mentioned this earlier, if you have good memory. Not a surprise. They all operate on this sort of rule set.
Accusations has been that we send people after them, which we have not done. We tell you don't bother people, don't harass people. If I point out your tweet or something, if you're posting on X and you say something stupid or that's completely misrepresenting what we said, and I call you out, it's because you're being a dumbass and I saw it. I'm calling you out. It does not mean I'm telling people to go after you, but I'm going to call you out if you're saying stuff that isn't true. And
Okay, so I don't use Twitter, so that definitely was not about me. This video could very well be about like a whole different group of people on Twitter, maybe. I don't know.
So the same people who are mad at us for not liking Star Wars or whatever and say we're anti-Lucasfilm, anti-Disney, we want Disney to fail, we want it to burn, we hate Hollywood, we're anti-studio, anti-everything, are the same people saying that we're being paid off by the studios to ruin the unions. Okay, I'm not kidding. This is what their logic is.
I'm subscribed to ClownFishTV on YouTube, and back in 2020, Keon, I guess that's the guy, had said that they were left-wing independents. Geeky that time was counting ballots in Allegheny County in Pennsylvania. They live on the outskirts of Pittsburgh. Cool.
I never said that. Maybe people in my comment section did, but I don't read every single comment because I don't have the time for that. I really hope people were like civil in my comment section.
We don't know how animation actually works. That was funny, even though veterans have said, no, you're actually pretty right about a lot of this stuff. We've had, let me think what else is on there. Oh, we're anti-union. Not true. If you've watched our videos, you know that like when the VFX...
I deliberately made a very conscious attempt in my video to not, comfort them personally or like critique them and their experience. I tried to keep my video as objective and as...
Are they like ex-animators or something? Is that why they're so like full of hate for the animation industry and other animators? And they're always like, oh, we love these industry veterans. They seem like they failed. They crashed out of the animation industry hard, decided to start grifting off of right-wing hate content, and now they're big mad when anyone else has the gall to point it out. That's the vibe I'm getting from the ClownFishTV folks over there.
Argument-based as possible. You can support one instance of unions being necessary and artists unionizing, but that doesn't mean you can never be anti-union ever again. So that's a little odd.
We have covered animators being forced to do crunch time and being forced to work ridiculous hours at places like Rooster Teeth and stuff. We've covered that before and defended.
Yeah, guaranteed. Rooster Teeth, I'm glad she gives an example, because I was literally going to say, I guarantee you it's only places that are known for being progressive. If it was found out that, for example, like, obviously this is more of an animation-focused channel, but if they were more gaming-focused, let's say something that they had been, like, glazing for months ended up having, like, a ton of crunch time and some really bad... worker practices behind the scenes. Like, I don't know, the Black Myth Wukong game. If that game ended up having some real bad, like, weird shit going on in regards to crunch time and treatment of its workers and stuff, they wouldn't care. They would defend it, if not just sweep it under the rug and ignore it, because they gain nothing from advocating for the rights of workers unless they are using workers' rights as a cudgel when arguing that a company that employs those workers is woke and that the bad practices are due to them being a woke company, quote unquote. They do this all the time.
The animators, because it wasn't fair. Basically, we looked at the situation and we tried to start to determine what is being done that's fair, what is being done that's not fair. It's nothing against certain groups specifically. You know, they think it is, because basically, if it's not what they want to hear, it just lies and negativity. When that's
Did I imply it was lies and negativity?
I saw that one. Oh, there's just been a whole bunch of different things leveled at us, and they're hilarious. Back to the union thing. I think this is coming from, which I will talk about here in a minute, from Neon posted. It's coming from this thing that last year we had the Writers Guild on strike and we had the Screen Actors Guild on strike. And if you watched our videos, then you know what we said. We agreed with most of what the Writers Guild was asking for. However, we said they were overreaching.
What's really neat too is the fact that they're not naming the person that they are supposedly responding to's criticisms, because the whole no free clout thing also allows for there to be little to no accountability for lying about what you were called out for, you know? Like a smaller content creator by several, like, hundred times over, several 100,000 times over, or I guess no, in this case, just several 100 times over. It's not... There's nothing you can do, really. There's nothing you can do to respond if they claim that you made something up about them that's like an easy debunk for them because they've manufactured a straw man of what you claimed. If they don't say who called them out, they can just say this person who called them out claimed this, and they can farm off of the idea of responding to hate without actually risking any of the potential pitfalls of responding to somebody who's called you out. They get to have their cake and eat it, too. They trash Disney every time they talk about Disney. They go dismal Disney. That's ClownFishTV. Well, I mean, I don't really care as much about the attacking of companies and like media and what they produce so much as I care about the attacking of the people who produce it, you know? It's become very common for these right-wing grift channels to encourage harassment against actresses in particular. Actors too, but especially actresses. Like, the whole cast of Rings of Power has been inundated with internet harassment and, like, death threats and just non-stop hate for, like, 5 years now since the casting was announced. Every woman and person of color in the cast gets the most hate. So you know where it's coming from. They encourage this. In fact, they'll make videos if one of the cast responds to the death threats and the hate they're getting from weirdo online racists. The weirdo online racists make videos claiming that that person is attacking fans, and they try to set up a justification for the more reasonable people that they are being attacked by this actor and try to, you know, make them feel like it's personal, so they'll go out of their way to attack that person. And more importantly, they'll continue watching that creator's videos about that person, that actor, that actress. You know, hell, the actress who played Abby in The Last of Us 2, both actresses, the mocap and voice actresses, are both nonstop harassed ever since that game came out.
On the minimum writer's room and some of the other things, they were demanding, guaranteed work. And we're like, that's not going to happen. And we also said that what is going to happen is more people are going to get what they want. They're going to reach an agreement. However, studios are going to cut projects, and whoever's left is going to get a good deal, but they're going to weed out a lot of people. And that is exactly what happened. And we just talked to you we're looking at this from the outside, and we're like, from our experience working in and around the industry, here's what we think is going to happen. And that's usually what happens. It's not nefarious. It's not we want to see people fail. Even though a lot of you entitled little whiny bitches, I'm not going to cry too much if you lose your jobs because you're being a bunch of assholes.
Entitled little whiny bitches.
Well, here's the thing, though. They have to play the like, reasonable, sensible character, but then they also have to please the bloodlust of their audiences. So it always starts reasonable, and then it escalates to, like, moral grandstanding that they're somehow, like, they always pretend to be morally superior. You'll notice that as a trend.
Oh, we're off to a good start.
But you're too busy screaming at us and being mad, triggered, constant about every little thing. I'm an animator. I do mental health videos. Well, you're going to need more mental health videos because your animation career is probably not going to last much longer.
That was definitely, like, targeted because this YouTuber does mental health videos and animation stuff. So, yeah. So it's very clear that they're talking about this YouTuber, but they don't want to say who the YouTuber is because they want to be able to make straw men of what she claims. And what's so, depressing about this is, the very many such cases situation of much smaller left-wing figure makes apt, criticism of a much, much larger average right-wing YouTuber. And it's just, essentially impossible to reach the vast majority of people, to get past the straw manning and the lies and the misrepresentations, because you're arguing from a much smaller platform. And most left-wing content creators have to deal with this. Hell, you don't even have to be like a left-wing political person. If you're just an animator, you might get targeted. You might end up being on this end of things.
Targeted. That felt oddly specific. Wow.
And you're doing it to yourselves because we're trying to give you a heads up and trying to help you figure ways around it, and you're just too busy being triggered and pissed to.
I'm triggered and pissed. Other people are triggered and pissed. They're so pissed.
I will. Yeah. The projection is very obvious to everyone but them, to everyone but their little orbit that they're making their videos for.
This video, they called us entitled little whiny bitches. Wow.
So this triggered Neon earlier. He was like, he's bringing up because people are like, oh, they're wrong. They don't know what they're talking about. Except we do know what we're talking about a lot of times. We aren't on here saying stuff unless it's something we know about or we understand we're part of. That's not what we do. We don't just grip onto whatever, glom onto whatever, and go on about it. There's lots of things that have happened that we could have made videos on, but we didn't because it's not something that it's in our wheelhouse. Okay, this one is in our wheelhouse. We've been doing this through both webcomics, comic books, and we've had things optioned for animation before. We've been doing this for a long time. We've been around. Oh, that's the other thing they're mad about because I said you can't swing a dead cat without hitting a storyboard artist. I stand by that. Everybody and their dog is a storyboard artist, and basically what's going on is the storyboard artist.
Dude.
Yeah, so this is a really good example of the whole, like, it's a trend that's expanded beyond the world of animation. Obviously, that's what this video is more focused on. But in my realm, which is more gaming, I've noticed that dev hate, as I call it, has become increasingly more common, where these grifters decide that they're going to target a piece of media and they're going to target the actors and voice actors involved in its production, the developers, the people that market it on Twitter. It doesn't even have to be a political issue. It can just be like there's a problem with the game in any way, and they'll blame the devs, the literal, possibly in some cases, paid workers gruelingly just working and doing what they're told to do. Somehow they're the ones that deserve to get blamed when some AAA production from a massive publisher releases something that gamers are upset about. They've really started to normalize the attacking of the workers who are doing the hard labor of producing media. The storyboard artists, the people who are doing like I don't know a lot about animation, so what's the next step? I don't know the next step after storyboarding. Listen, art is not my forte, okay? But they're attacking everyone involved in every step of production that they can blame. This is a big part of this, like, conspiracy narrative they push about wokeness taking over Hollywood, taking over the gaming industry, taking over whatever it may be that they decided that the woke mind virus is taking over. But, here is where I'm going to cut it because I do want to encourage you guys to go watch, like, subscribe, and comment on the original video that we were watching here because it was pretty good. From Sia Mystery. I'm going to drop the link in chat right away so you guys can go send support if you find yourselves wanting to. And of course, remember, link down below in the description. But if you enjoyed this segment, if you liked me dunking and bullying on ClownFishTV and showcasing a creator who you guys might not have ever heard of, who's called out ClownFishTV and makes some pretty seemingly wholesome art content, it seems like it's pretty fun, then hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, please consider liking, subscribing, and ring the bell icon, and turning on all notifications on my channel. It really does help a lot, especially the liking. Every single video, my VODs, my streams, no matter what it is that you hit the like button on, it really does go a long way to support me in the algorithm, especially if you like my stream while I'm live. I really appreciate it. And I know you people who watch on your phones, and you got your phone in your pocket, and you're doing something, or you're like doing a chore or whatever, come on, I'm entertaining you. Take your phone out, hit that like button. It really does help a ton. It really does. You know, it's totally free, and it means a lot. As does commenting down below. Please comment too. And hey, if you watch this far into the video, comment chicken. Find a way to maybe just comment the word chicken, but if you have got an additional comment to add, include chicken in it, so I know that you watched all the way to this point in the video. That's how I know you're a real fan. Anyway, with all that said, follow my social medias linked down below if you want to see more from me on other platforms. Perhaps even join my Discord server if you haven't already. It's totally free to join, and on top of that, it is the main hub of my community and fan base, and once a week, I either do a watch party, a call-in stream, or a gaming event, at least once a week. So, I do hope to see you guys there. I also announce all my new uploads and streams there too, so make sure you got notifications on if you join. And finally, if you want to support me directly, financially, you can afford it and you feel like it, and you want to help me keep the lights on and a roof above my head here at the Xander Hall studio, then please consider donating, subscribing, or gifting a sub on my website, xanderhall.com/live, or support me through YouTube, Twitch, Streamlabs, Stream Elements, Patreon, or support me through the Streamlabs link down below. Regardless, though, of how you support me, as always, have a good one.